Hello again. This is the course of Information System Development in Industrial and Management Engineering, Hanguk University of Foreign Studies. So I will continue with the HTML basic. Last time we already reached, yeah, I think we finished until this section. Sorry. So we already did the special characters, and now we are entering the new section about the div and span. I think I cannot explain many things about the diff and span, but at least you know what is the block and inline elements. The block elements means you want to add a line break before and after them. So diff is the block element. The other block elements are table or HR and also headings, lists, P and etc. In the inline elements, they don't break the text before and after them. So it means sorry. So the span is one of the inline element, and we have also A. A, if you know, if you want to click to the HTTP reference, then you can use A. So the A is also an inline element. It will not break the text before and after them. So we are going to learn about two things of the tag. The first is div. div, okay, div, we all usually div, and it creates logical division within a page. And as I mentioned to you, this is a block style element, and it used with CSS. Okay, so if you know CSS, yeah, I will deal with the CSS maybe in some weeks later. But for your information, this is only the styling. So the styling means you want to know about the font, or you want to change the color, or you want to change the alignment, you want to change the type of the font. Okay, so it's all in the style format. Okay, so we call it the CSS. Now I have an example like this one. So this is the div. And okay, let's see if I want to check this in the okay, I will open my Notepad++ and then I will just make this one. Okay. You if you are yeah, it is just copy and paste from all the text, and then let me just save. Okay. So I would like to save this one. Oops, where is my folder? Yeah, I think this is the. Okay, yeah, I have the folder of HTML example. Just let me follow the div. This one, maybe this is the div example. Okay, and then I will make it as in HTML. Okay, div and span. Okay, yeah, I just make it as a div example.html. If you check, okay, we have the div example. Yeah, you can see the div example at the top, and then there is another text. This one is only a test. Now you can see from the PPT, you can see here you have the div, and this div will be the parameter for this text. So the style font will be the size of 24 pixel, and the color will be red, and the alignment is center. So you can see that the alignment of this text in the center, and the size is 24, is bigger than the common text, and the color is red. If you go to the next line, so this is using P is a paragraph, and as you know, if it is div, then it will break the text before and after. But now I want to change only partial text in the paragraph. So I can use span. If you can see, there's a span here, and the span will have the style color equals to red, and then the font width equals to bold, So the font is bold, and the text that we are going to use is only a test. And after the only a test, then the paragraph will be ended. So you can see the difference between div and span. So the div is a text is something that you will finish all the text, and then the span can be the partial text. So it can be only the inline elements, not the block element. So the span actually, as you might know, is only the inline element, inline style element, and you can see that yeah, this is another example for the test. You can see that the span has the color red, one bold, and then only test, and then this is another span. Okay, so this is another span. If you are going to make like this one, okay, let me just copy and paste this one into here. Okay, this is another test, and then if you want to check, yeah, this is another text. So the text is very big, but the other text is just the regular text. And if you check from the code, this is another span, and the span style is the size is 32, and the weight is bold, and the text that you want to use this size and the bold is text. Okay, so with this inline style element with the span, you will you can modify the some portion of text. You will not need to create a separate area in the document, and it's very useful if you are combining with your the CSS. Okay, so with regard to the additional things in the HTML, yeah, I'm going to explain about HTML tables. How can you manage the tables? If you know tables, so it is a form of the like the spreadsheet. Okay, if you use Excel, you know that it creates table. But in HTML, you need to code by yourself because the table is very yeah, Excel is a software. Okay, while in the HTML, it is only a display, and you need to make your code to make a table. Of course, you can use any existing library for this table, like in JavaScript, they have the data tables, and yeah, they have some other kind of libraries that you can just adopt and you can put in your HTML code. But for the basic HTML, I would like to teach you how to make the HTML for the tables. Okay. So the HTML tables represent the tabular data. A table consists of one or several rows, and each rows has one or more columns. Okay, so you need to understand that that is the basic of the table. Table comprised of several core texts. So you have the table, and then yeah, if you remember, when you are making a tag, you need to make the beginning and the ending tag. Okay, and after you have the table, you need to create the row. So we use the tr, and don't forget to make the ending. This is tr, and in a row you will have several cell, or we call it a column. Okay, so in order to make the column, you need to create the td, and don't forget to make the ending of the td. The td means the tabular data, tr means the table row. So tables should not be used for layout. So table is just making a table. And if you want to use for the layout, then you need to use the CSS. So CSS, this is the styling, as I mentioned to you. You can use the position style. You can use the position, the other stuff in the CSS for making your table more fancy. So you need to understand the three things, three tags in the table. First, it's table itself. The second is the tr, and the third is td. Okay. Now, for example, we have this. Hmm, okay, I guess you are making this one. Let's see. I would like to copy this file. Yeah. So I'm making a new file here and then copy and paste. And then let's make a table example.html. Okay. Now, as you can see here, the first start the starting tag is table. Okay. Okay, you can see cell spacing, cell padding. Yeah, let just this. I will explain this one later. And then you have the ppt.give as the image. Okay, img is the image, and you are going to connect with the lecture1.pd. So it is the lecture one, and then you have another ppd give, and then you are going to connect to the lecture2.ppd, and you are going to connect with the chip.give. You are going to connect with the chip file. Yeah. I don't have the ppd, but let's just use the existing ppd. Okay. Yeah, you already have the ppt from my lecture notes. Let me use mine. Okay, maybe this one. Oops. Okay, there are so many. I will make just a very basic one. This one, HTML basic query. Okay. Mm, uh, you need to put your files in here. Okay, you have this one is the HTML basic. I want to change to lecture 01. Okay, so this file is in the ppt lecture 1. Oh, okay, because it is the new format. This is not the ppt, but it is the pptx. So you need to change this one, lecture 1, and then what you need to do is to change this one into x. Okay, and then yeah, because I don't have the files here, let's let this one like this. And the next is you need to have the key file. Okay, ppt.give. Let's assume that you can download in Google. Let's say ppt.give. Okay, okay, there will be a lot of files that ppt.give. Oops. Where is it? Nothing here. Oh, okay, this one is good. Okay. Maybe you can use this one. Save image as because this is the PNG, and okay, I would like to save it into your computer. So I would like to save into the HTML examples that I created, and yeah. So ppt.gif, okay, and then I just make it as all files. Okay. Now if I run this, okay, oh yeah, where's it? If I run the table example, okay, you can see this is the GIF. Okay, this is the GIF, the ppt of the GIF, and then you have the lecture 1, lecture 2, and lecture 2 demos. If you already define the lecture 1, so you can see that it is connected to the, yeah, oh, okay, you can see on the below part. Okay, so in the below part of this web browser, you can see that it belongs to the lecture.ppt. So if you click this one, then okay, sorry, I think this one should be connected to the server because it is not connected to the server, so I cannot do with this one because it is only the local. Okay, so you need to connect to the server. I will explain to you how to use the server later. So if you are you ensure that this is the file, then you can just click and then you will download the files. Okay, but for now, because we are not using the server, so you cannot download the file. And also the same with the other. If you are connecting with the lecture2.ppd, then you will download the lecture2. And if you're making this zip file, then yeah, can download this zip file. Okay. The complete HTML tables actually is not only three things, not only table, tr, and dd, but it also have the other tags such as t-head, t-body, t-foot, column group, or column. Okay, so the t-head means it is the table header, and there will be the th. Okay, the th is the element to explain the header instead of td. Okay? So we are not using the td for the header, but we are using th. And the t-body means the collection of table rows that contain the very data. Contain every data. Okay, so maybe I mistake by this one. The t-foot denotes the table footer, but comes before the t-body. Okay, you will see later with examples. So how the footer will appear. And we can also do with the column definition, like column group and column. That is to set the column width. Now, yeah, we are making the table with the border. So before we have the self spacing and self header, we don't use that one because there is no header, so you cannot see the table clearly. But now let's see. I have this code. Okay. I have this HTML code, and then let's see. I have the thing that we need to check. Okay, table full.html. So let's make this one, and then this is the table full.html. Table full.html. Okay, now I have this file, and if I click this one, then okay, you have this table. So what is the meaning? Okay, the first part is about the table. We have the border one, and let be the color group. Okay, you can see this color group. So I would like to use the width 100 pixel. So every column will have 100 pixel. And now you have t head. Okay, what is t head? So t head is the header, and the header is, yeah, we don't have the td. Okay, but we have the th. Th means the header that you are going to describe. Okay. And column header first is using column one, and the second column use the column two. Okay, column two, column one. And footer. Okay, after you define the header, you need to define the footer. The footer is not using the th, but it returns back to the td. So we have footer one and we have footer two. Okay. So please remember that every row, yeah, you need to define with the tr. So in one row, there will be two columns, footer one and footer two. In the first row or in the header, you will also have two columns, column one and column two. What about the body? So the body, it means the middle part. You will have two rows, okay, tr. This is the first row, and after you have the first row, you will make the second row. Okay, so this is the second row, and the first column. Okay, this is the first column, and the other is, this is the first row and the second column. Okay, so okay, I already designed footer, and last comes with the data. So if we have the row one, so we will define the column one and column two, and then we have the next row, we have the column one and column two. Okay, so don't forget that the header we use th, and the columns we can define the column group with a certain styling. And you can see from the result, yeah, the column one, okay, The column 1 is the header. Column 2 is also the header, and as the header, it is printed in the middle. And then next we have the cell 1, cell 1.1, cell 1.2, and then cell 2.1, cell 2.2. As you know, this is the body. Okay, so this is the body. And the footer, what about the footer? So the footer is the last part, okay, foot in the below part. So that's why when we are doing with the footer, yeah, it's a bit strange because we define it first, but it comes later. Okay, okay, let's see. If you check on this one, yep, okay. Even though the size is a little bit different with the examples in the PPT, but yeah, the result is the same with the plot here. Okay. So by the default, the header is bold and center, and the footer before is, although the footer is before the data in the code, but it is displayed in the last. Okay. Now you can also make nested tables. Okay. When you make a table, you can make a table inside the table. So how can you make the table inside of the table? We call it as nested tables. So we have the tr, okay, we have this tr, and then this tr will be the row. And as you might know, this one is connecting with this row, okay. And then this is the column. So the first column, we are making this first column with this one, okay. Oh, sorry, I think this is not the case. So this is the first column, which is the contact, and then this is the next one. Okay, you need to use the eraser. Okay, okay. Oops, yeah, all the things is deleted. Okay, so this dd is related with this one, and then we have another table. Okay, so this table is inside a column, is inside a cell. So this table has a border equals to 1, and then it has another row, okay, and this row contains of two columns. Okay, the first name is the first column, and the last name is the second column. Okay, so we call it, this is the nested table. So if you want to try, then yeah, you can copy and paste this one. You can go to the, for me, I use the Notepad++, and yeah, let's see, yeah, I nested table.html, and yeah, you can run and check. Yep, like this one. Okay, because the first table has no border, so that's why there is no line. So you can make this one border equals to 1, and let's check. Yep, you can see there's a border over there. Okay, and you can make also the spacing and padding. Okay, what does it mean by cell spacing? What does it mean by cell padding? So the cell padding, it means we want to see the distance from the text to the inner of the cell. But the cell spacing, I want to check the distance between the outer of the cell. Okay? So the outer of the cell will have the cell spacing, and the distance between the text into the inner border, we call it the cell padding. Okay? So this is important to define the space, so you can see the table more clear, or yeah, it's not that narrow when you put the cell spacing and cell padding. Let's say if you have this table cells, okay. Okay, the table cells, let me check with this one. I make a new one, and then I make this one. Table cells dot html. So if you are table cells, okay, Okay, you can see the table cells like this one. What is the meaning from the code? Yeah, you have the HTML head, has the title table cells, and then the body, it has the table. Okay, what is the table? Here it is table with the cell spacing 15. Okay, so cell spacing, it means the distance between the cell. Okay, and the cell padding is 0. Nothing, there's no difference between the text to the inner and the border with 1. So we have two columns, two cells. The first is first and the second is second, and then it close the table. And PR, so do you know what is PR? Yep, PR. What is PR? Yeah, it is making a new line, and after the new line you will make another table, and the cell spacing is 0 and cell padding is 10. The border is 1. And after you have this, you make so another two cells, which is the first and the second. Okay, so that's why if you check on the result, oh, I think I have this one. Yeah, you can see this one. Yeah, this is the first, this is the second. So it is the first is the cell spacing and the other is the cell padding. Okay, so the first is with the cell spacing 15 and cell padding 0, and the next one is using the cell spacing 0 and cell padding 10. So you can see the difference. Okay, the other things that you may need to learn is using the column span and the row span. Do you still remember what is the meaning by span? Yeah, span is element. So this is the same with the in table. When you have table cells, you have two important attributes, which is the column span and the row span. For example, I want to make the column merge. So originally there are two columns, but I want to make it as one. So I call this is the column span equals to 2. So the two columns will be joined or merged. In terms of row span, so I have several rows and I want to merge into one. Okay, so we call this is the column span equals to 1 because the column or the cell has only one. This column equals to 1, but the column span equals to 2 means I want to combine two cells in the respective of the column. With the row span, also the same. If I want to combine two rows, then I have 2. If you want to combine 3 rows, then you need to make 3, and so on. Now, the row span equals to 1 means yeah, just one row, and the row span equals to 1 is also one row. Okay, so let's see this one. This is the column span and the row span. So I will make a table row column span.html. So if I run this, yeah, maybe it's not clear to see from this one. Sorry, but you can check from this example. Yeah. So the first one is we are making a table. Okay, the table has the cell spacing 0 and border 1. You know what is cell spacing 0? Okay, there is no distance between the text and the inner border. And okay, we have this is the we have the first row. Okay, so this is the first row, and when you have the first row, you want to make the class 1. The first TD is cell 11, which is this one. Okay, and the column span 2, cell 21. So there are two columns, but I want to merge it into one. So this is the result of the column span 2. Okay. What about the next? I have the TR. Okay. So this is the next one. This is the next tr, and the next tr is using the td cell 1 2, okay, which is this one, and then the row span 2. I would like to combine two rows. So the two rows is here. We have cell 2.2, and after this cell, I would like to define the cell number 3.2. Okay, so in the TR class 2, there are three cells. Okay, there are three TD. TD first, TD second, and TD third. And after I make this one, I would like to create the next row, the third row. So in the third row, we have the cell 1 3. Okay, so this is the first column, the first cell, and then we have the C23, C23 as the last cell. Oh, why don't we define the cell in this case? Okay, because it is already merged. Okay, two rows are already merged, so you don't need to define again. So the way to define the column span and the row span should be matched with the number of the cells. Okay, I think I will stop here, and I will continue the explanation with the HTML form in the next video. If you have any questions, just drop me an email or just give me a comments in this YouTube. Thank you very much.